something here where I do post commentary by voice over a game. So I'm just going to get into this first game that we played. I'm going to be looking specifically at Odd and just trying to point out stuff that I think Odd can do better.
It is that you offer. So
pretty sure this is going to be a pretty 5-out team we're up against. I remember this, the big and the 4 are the biggest threats to score, and I do think they end up kind of playing through them a good amount. Odds on his 6'11", possession extender, really high interior stats, so we really want to be getting him into the paint as much as possible while still sticking true to all of our other principles. So this first step was good. This pass is kind of happening. So Odd goes to his corner, as he should. I'm the one picking up the low. I'm assuming I call that. Hopefully I do. And James's man is getting this pass, so it's really Odd's responsibility to get in front here. I would even say that Odd should probably be taking like one extra step to get in front. And it's because this blow by is pretty tough for us. Like, we don't want to have to give up this blow by. And James is in position, ready to make the switch onto this guy. Luckily, he doesn't take the drive, and we're kind of good. As you can see, everyone's doing a good job kind of sinking, shrinking the floor when we need to. It does lead to this. I'm pretty sure this is just me not stepping up correctly. Yeah, so I'm playing the back on this screen. I see. So I follow down because my guy is rolling. But I'm probably in a position here to let shots take this guy. And this is essentially yo-yo, right? Like, we're going to end up doing stuff like this on offense. But this is exactly the type of miscommunication it creates. So Javion jumps, as he should, as we have told him to do. And I'm really the help defender who's responsible here. But I follow my guy, not really trusting or noticing that Shots is in good position to stop this. So when this guy comes up out of the paint, ultimately he doesn't get the pass, but like he totally could have for top of the key. Regardless, I'm out of position, not able to contest this, and that's a 2. Odd played the possession pretty well, despite the only thing is the one thing I mentioned. I like this. Not looking for the home run pass, so this is good. Like, Odd can and is often looking to make this pass, but I think it's just a lot better to make this pass to Shots, or if it's me, or like, someone further up the court who's gonna more often make an accurate pass for the extra here. That's a bad crash. I'm sure you know that. You probably even said it. Here's one thing. We can kind of use this for everyone, but like I said, I'm going to try to focus on Odd, but to avoid me having to watch it like a million times, I'm going to just try to mention stuff as I see it. If we notice, so I don't think any of this is really what's happening. If we see Odd crashing, like if we see someone make the crash from the top opportunistically, or if it's a point guard drive down the middle, then we should be less incentivized to crash from the corners in those spots. Because again, what we want ultimately, like, everything is in service of getting 3 people at the top of the arc at the end of a possession. And roughly we have that here because Javion does a good job leaking early, right? Like, the ball is just in the net and Javion is already like full committed to sprinting back, and Shots and I are like out of the picture because we're back defending in transition. So like, that makes those type of out of system, quote unquote, drops from the top to get offensive rebounds more okay because we have the necessary people back. Obviously, we should be pressing here. We talk about this later, and I talked about it in my notes, but because this is the first game of the day, we aren't doing a really consistent job with pressing. Technically, what I would want in this scenario is that whoever the 2 who crash the offensive rebound, usually it's going to be the corners, to be the ones like initiating this press. So James, in this case, I don't want you running back necessarily. I want you staying here. And it probably should be James and Odd. Like, when we're fully formed, it should be I think in this particular situation, it should be the three of us, me, Javion, and Shots back, with Odd and James pressing. That means that Odd might play a possession at the top of the key. I think that's totally fine. I think it just makes the rotations easier. But I appreciate what Shots is doing of like trying to stick to the game plan, make the denial. And like the denial, as you can see, works here. Shots' pressure gets them to not go to the point guard. Instead they throw this. It's a scary, but I don't think it's like we need to intercept it necessarily, because if we like go for that lane and miss, it's just wide to the basket. We kind of like get into this scenario where like actually Oddmere does overcommit here. Just trust yourself to play lower Odd here and be ready to jump on the shot, because when you get over like this is all okay. Like James realizes he needs to help. He could have maybe tried to get an extra step towards, like, you really want to, like, at what point does this should already be setting off alarm bells for James potentially. The thing is, like, I don't want James like sinking here, because there's going to be more trailers coming up here on the left side, and he needs to be able to guard them. So yeah, I don't think it's like a big deal. I just might have, when noticing this blow by, might have committed harder onto the drive. Again, the idea of you don't just give him the open one, you make him make the extra pass. And as you can see, I'm dropping. There's like a chance that I actually get here in time. Instead, this is kind of free. Like, you're just too far under the basket. You're not going to get a real contest. Like, that's just a dunk every time. Odd, I'd like you to stay. Oh, this is interesting. So because James is inbounding, I think it is okay for Odd to go fill here. I think this is good. And I think we just need to be able to play in this setup. We do a good job here of like James just stops, as he should. I think this is probably like not a good enough take. Obviously you wanted to take off. You're expecting him to close out to James shots. Also, I think that like you might have had it right there. Like you beat this guy really well and you get downhill, but you pull up. I mean, he does a good job of cutting you off. Like this is a hard look to make. But I think it's all fine. Kind of at this point, to me, this is like time to make a decision. Everyone needs. So do you see how let me go back a few seconds. I think this is actually going to be pretty instructive, and I can slow it down. So I'm going to go back 3 seconds. Watch, even though I'm on the hash, watch how early I start moving. And it's because I'm convinced, like at this point, in my opinion, I'm convinced that Shots is going to like get a shot up here. So I'm already walking back because we want to make the decision as early as possible. And this goes for everybody. So like James, ideally you'd be walking back here too, right? Like I mean, you're here ready for a kick out. Like I totally get that. That's fair. But hopefully you can kind of see what I'm saying. And I bring this up in this particular instance because I actually think that we're okay to start dropping in this situation as well to try to get offensive rebound. Like, I think this is just too passive. Like, I think we already want a decision to have been made. Even if you think that, oh, well, if I go here, I'm going to be crowding shots, so you don't want to do that. In that case, just start running back. But to me, this is like too much corner hesitation. And we're okay. Like, look how far back I already am on this. I'm able to take away the first pass, and luckily we're not getting completely flooded in transition. But a better team might have two people leaking here, right? And I can take one away, but if this guy on the opposite corner, or like the guy who was closest to James, if he started running faster and James wasn't here, this is a free three, and we've like fucked up transition. And actually, as you see here, I kind of get behind him, like I misplay it. Luckily, Javion's close enough, we're able to kind of deal with it. So yeah, just like really making decisions early in transition, or when we're on offense, for committing to the offensive rebound or getting back in transition, I think is huge. Let me see what happens here on the left side of this. So they do like this wrap cut. I think I remember Shots calling this. So 22 here, looks like he's going to go middle, kind of on the right side of the paint, but instead he does this little wrap cut. I think technically, because we're trying to deny middle penetration, what we want here is so James needs to be closer to the elbow so that he can be in front, and then Odd needs to be closer because James is reacting right now to Odd's man cutting. He's trying to stop him. If we're all tighter here, though, we don't get this penetration like this, because like this is this cut getting to this point where he's this far in is a mistake. Like we've messed up the principles a little bit here. Shots tries to fix it. I'm okay with this, but I think better teams are going to start making different reads here, Shots, and I kind of do want you to stay out towards this hash guy. Like, this is very committal, and I think you committed because you saw the same breakdown that I'm describing here. But this is like a little bit too, like, this causes like a problem. James, I can tell, is already switching here, which is good. Like, we actually are going to, I'm assuming what's going to happen here, if he doesn't score, is that Shots is going to get to the corner, James is going to get to the hash, and Odd is low, and we actually might just get a stop here, which is all really good. Like, if that's what we do here, like, that's like making the best of a bad situation. But again, I think initially we want to play this tighter to make sure that we're not denying this penetration. Yeah, this 22 guy cutting through is like the main problem. So let's see what happens. Odd gets there, and Odd is able to get a good contest. I mean, this is the thing too, where like, so I'm not assuming that we're ever going to have a build as elite defensively as Odds is, but this current Odd build is 89 interior, 99 block off rip. If he wanted, he could run interior takeover. I mean, he is running interior takeover. I don't know what attributes. Like, he could be at 99, 99 sometimes. That is like so elite that like we should be making it a focus to like try to get Odd in the paint in situations like this. Which would like encourage us to make perimeter switches. And you saw like this contest is like pretty lackluster, but he still gets a good contest, and it's going to be in large part because of the ratings. I also do think that, like, again, like, while I would have wanted Shots to go out ideally, having two on him in the paint makes it more likely to get these kind of like bad animations where he can't just take off. This is all really good. Our running is fine here, I think. Like, the pass is like super easy to move up. I think that's a really good read by Odd to move that up. Yeah, and I like this. It's a decent attempt on the pass. Obviously, like, you know, I see this flex screen getting sent here. I guess it's not the flex. This is more of a pin down for James. James sees it and takes it. That's really good. There's not really a super open option. This is just a hard read, right? To make the pump, get the guy in the air, but notice that the second guy, who's like technically Shots' man, comes off of when Shot sets the screen and comes down to help. Obviously, technically, this is a pass here. Watch how far Javion is out of the corner. Like, how fast the Javion starts moving here. This is what we really want to see out of our corner guys, right? Like, he makes a decision. If he cut here to try to finish up on, to like follow up on this, I would be totally fine. But I also just love this decision to get out here. And he's making a decision so quickly that he's actually already even with James, pretty much. And that's really good. Odd gets his own rebound. That's hilarious. This works. Perfect. That works out for us. Yeah. I think that's largely it. We do want to press here, but this is okay. It's going to take a while. I don't even know if it's necessarily true. Like, it might be harder in practice than it is in theory. Like, again, because the two low offensive players at the end of this play are Shots and Odd, my instinct is to say that these guys should just press. These two should be the ones pressing. Odd takes a cut, and Shots ends up in the corner. Obviously, this isn't like standard. Normally we would have the two hash defenders in the corners here, but that's not how this play ends up. So if we get to the point where these two can just like naturally press here, and we can morph the zone behind them and everyone just like kind of takes spots, like, I think that is potentially easier down the line, but I know that's really hard for us. Like, I think that's not going to be an easy transition, and I'm not even 100% sure that's correct. That's just the kind of stuff I'm thinking of here. Shot sees that we're not pressing, so he goes, tries to get help. He stays in front of his guy, forces him to make the pass, even though, and again, like, this guy's actually beating Shots here, but he is pressured and he feels like he needs to make the pass. That's really good. Odd, do your best to stay in front of this. He does for the most part. Like, this is okay. He follows through. James switches. That's all really good. Odd is ready to help on the middle. I want you to help even more, I think, in this case, Odd. Like, you have the right idea, but because you take this step and we end up giving up middle here, wow, I'm surprised we get that. That's crazy. Is this my drop that gets this contest? And this is kind of what, like, I don't know if this is my drop or Shots is, or the fact that it's both of us. But this is kind of a crazy stop. Like, we shouldn't expect to get this stop against better teams. Like, I think most people are just meter dunking this at this point, and there's like nothing anyone can do. I like how low James is playing. Shots is like obviously going to do his best to contest here, but I think the correct answer here is Odd needs to be a little bit lower, taking this away, trusting that Shots is going to get up. Obviously, Odd still needs to be playing up here, and like maybe part of this is that Javion can afford to play higher as well. Like, we all need to be on a string. So if Javion is... So like this position is pretty good, maybe like one step further left. But he sees that I'm trying to help. Like, Javion's trying to cover for me, and like I probably shouldn't be. Like, I think this is like as far low as I can play. I don't think I should ever really commit. I see him go up, which is why I do commit from here. And maybe that's the benefit of playing low. Sorry, I don't really have like a super a consistent thing as to how we want to play that, but I think we show some of the benefits of like staying low as our base, because we are able to get a contest. We get this leak. That's probably not an advisable pass in Pro-Am. Like, James definitely does have a step. Everyone knows that he's running. So like this, some people would pass to Javion here. This feels awful. I'm not sure how I feel about this pass to James. Like, it gets through, and I have 99. Like, maybe I specifically can make this pass, but this is risky. This is kind of like out of system, out of principles as well. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's tough. I wonder. I mean, this is where I wonder if strength plays. I wonder if. So like Odd needs to do a better job here. So Odd, you're guarding out of space in this case. So like kind of has in this scenario. Even I'm probably too low here, but I'm trying to stay ready to cut. So like I'm trying to watch 5 in this case. I think in reality what's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to be a little closer to 5. I'm supposed to be at least like holding 5. James is supposed to be... I think James does a good job trying not to let this guy get behind him, but technically James's responsibility here is blue hair, and Odd, your responsibility is this guy who gets the ball. So when James goes for this steal, this is a good steal to go for, by the way, because James is supposed to have help behind him here. This is the exact type of times when we do want to reach. When you have help behind you, this is a great time to be aggressive. And Odd should just be in position here to take this. Instead, he's not. It's kind of lackadaisical. I drop to take it. Javion makes the rotation. A good team is no dipping that in the corner. So like this isn't like I'm like okay with my decision here, but like ultimately this is Odd stop. Odd needs to be like at the elbow here to prevent this drive. Maybe, hopefully, in my defense, if I see that, I'm not dropping this aggressively. Javion does a good job trying to get out here. We're lucky that this guy's not, such an elite player that he's just going to shoot this. Okay, so let's take a look at this. James does a good job following all the way down. Let's see what happens with this. So James does release him, and I think this is good. Like, James is watching. Also, totally would have been totally fine, I imagine. So this happens, the pass goes out. This could also be a switch between James and On, where James stays. I kind of feel like you guys would have figured this out either way. So this is good. Like, both of these are totally fine ways to handle this. We're doubling. We're trying to bump left. I wouldn't be surprised if James is calling that he has 2 here. But you're doing a good job playing 2. Like, this isn't an emergency situation, right? Like, James's build needs to be able to guard these 2 in this type of situation. So this is all okay for me. I want to see how where Shots is getting out of position here. This is just a nice cut. Does he reach? So this is tough. I think Shots just ends up playing high, like a little over worried about this guy. Instead, in this case, I think he needs to be kind of playing towards the middle slightly. We give up this cut. Whatever, chase down attempt. Okay. Like, I think it's a mistake, but it's All of this is understandable. And I think it all starts with not picking up as effectively in transition. But I want to go back and say that I really like when do you want to be aggressive in terms of looking for steals? This is exactly the right time when you have help behind you. Like, this is a great steal attempt, and this is the exact type of steal attempt I want to make, even though the play ends up as positive for the opponents. Now we're staying here. Bigs are down. This is good. I like your decision to give it up there, and we run a little bit of a give and go. I think I even remember you saying you were trying to pass that out, but I think they forced you into it because it was like, if it had like predetermined the foul animation. So this is all fine. This is interesting. After free throws, who do we want pressing? It can probably just be the person taking the free throw and the closest guard, is my guess. But it could be like fucking Odd, and so in this case, the people on the blocks are me and Odd. We could press this. Like, I think that's actually totally reasonable. Like, that's part of the benefit of this. But this is an interesting situation. I hadn't thought of who presses on the free throws. Anyway, we're back. We're doing a good job. Shots gets a little bit of a press off here. And who knows? Like, we will never know exactly why the guy throws this pass. But it's totally plausible that our giving a little bit of pressure throughout the game makes them less likely to want to throw this pass instantly to the point guard, even though the point guard could take it here. And I hate to always bring it back to Haikyuu. I know, like, for those of you who we've talked the anime with, you know that's my favorite anime. And I just think, like, so much of it is applicable. There's, like, a really famous scene in Haikyuu where they show the power of, like, building up small annoyances until an actual big mistake happens. And this feels kind of like the big mistake, right? Like, they haven't messed up anything in transition yet at all, but the small annoyances maybe makes them throw this pass that we can intercept and get a good offensive possession out of the deal. And that's perfect. That's all really good. I like the no dip. I like the kick out. I think this is a fine decision to not crash. Like, technically this should be me and Shots crashing. Let me see if honestly, like, it can never be bad. Like, this is, I think we probably should be crashing here. But it's always, at least we're moving. Like, the shot is in the air, as we can see, and Shots and I are already moving. I'm happy that we're, like, making that decision. We're just not standing around. So that's good. That's the most important thing. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's see what happens here. So we are playing high. Shots kind of gets back, trying to get some press. We're getting beat here. Odd, I think you just need to be playing a little bit higher here. Either taking away the middle and calling it so that James or someone can go left. Like, this is one way to play this. You see that we're in a 3-on-2 on this side. So, like, the correct play in this situation is probably to do something like Odd plays, like, left elbow, trying to deny middle, trying to free up James, presumably James, but maybe if he gets a good bump, then Shots can go to get left here. Instead, we end up in a 3-on-2. They split off, and just like Javion and I can't guard 3 in this scenario. We end up collapsing here. This is all pretty good. I'm shocked, honestly, that I didn't go into this further. I don't know if I'm proud of myself or not. I like this jump by Javion. James kind of realizes it. Again, like, Javion makes a committal play here. This is probably anti-principles, right? Because this puts me in a tough spot, obviously, and it puts James in a tough spot because James's man is top of the key. But what we're doing is we're making this guy make a decision, and he makes the wrong decision. He doesn't hit this hash. And not hitting this hash means that we're all able to cover. And I'm a little late. I need to be doing a better job playing 2 here for Javion. I do walk up. Ultimately, we end up, we see that we're fine. We go back to base. Maybe because we didn't commit to this switch, Javion. Like, maybe the purely correct thing to do, I think, here is me to just take this guy and you to take this guy. Instead, you have to sprint back to this guy, and he uses your momentum against you, gets a cut, And because you're not in a position to push him towards me, because we're not denying middle, he gets this middle cut, and this is kind of a problem, and they get a dunk. So if you're going to come up here, try not to come up. I mean, I know you're trying to guard, like the real fear is like he gets like goes out to the hash and he shoots there, but this breaks down because we're not guarding middle. This is like completely fucked for James. Like James is never reacting here. Odd is the only person who has like a chance. Like Odd can switch this, and he kind of does. I kind of love this where like Odd goes down. This is reasonable. And if you see this, Javion, then you're probably supposed to try to X out, which is the term I use if unexpected help comes from usually like 2 or 3 away. Xing out is the idea that you stop chasing your man and you go out to the new opening, allowing everyone to stay. Again, this is all kind of has to be like opportunistic. Like I don't think we can like plan this drop, but that's probably the best way to guard this. Like if we don't switch here, it's crazy how many like tiny little mistakes, none of which are like are fatal on their own, but if you've heard of the Swiss cheese model in terms of like creating aircraft accidents, like, you know, it's the cascade of small little faults that like lead to an opposing bucket in this case. So, okay, I should probably be here. If I'm not going to be here, Javion probably needs to be denying middle more. If Javion is going to get beat middle here, Odd needs to be full committing here. Instead, he feels like he has to follow his guy out. Honestly, at this point, it's kind of reasonable for him to want to follow his guy out. Like he sees Javion crashing, but like this is bad. Like this guy has gotten inside of the 3 of us. Like we could have 5 people around him like this, and he's still gonna score. And like we can't just say, oh, you know, fuck 2K because like we don't get this block. Like this shouldn't be a block. Like we're lucky if we get a stop in this spot. But okay, they get a dunk. So I actually in the early going, like. Again, teams are still going to score on us, but it's funny that like even with our strategy of denying middle, I think 3 of their buckets have been 2s at the rim because we have failed to deny middle. So like it kind of shows how much we can do. This is a nice give and go. We see this drop. He calls the flare up. I think this is a good pass by Odd. Here's something I'll say. Another small thing, and I think these kind of offensive things might be more painful and take a lot longer for us to really implement. So as I'm seeing this play now, this give and go looks really dangerous actually. Like to me, like this is like kind of like a 5-alarm fire situation for them. Like Shots is behind their guy. Luckily this guy's attentive and like gonna stop it. But one of the rules I wanted to consider was that when penetration comes, I want off ball to move in certain ways. Specifically, I'd want James to start shaking up here because what's going to happen a lot of times is both of these guys are going to go to shots. So when off ball penetration comes on your side, I think it's good practice to shake in the opposite direction. So like by moving away, James, from this blue-haired defender, you're putting maximum pressure on him to make like an actual committal decision. At the same time, when off-ball cuts happen like this, I think it's really easy for the opposite corner guy to drop as well to overload the big. So what I imagine would happen here, like let's say Shots keeps going, he's going to get cut off by blue. James moves up. Maybe white switches correctly here, and this action on the left is covered. But when Odd cuts, blue has to step in front of Shots, and Odd should have free space under the rim. Right? Because like this guy isn't one big enough to deal with Odd, but also isn't like in a great position. Like this cut is like actually available right here. And our instincts tell us that we don't want to crowd the driver in this case. And there are some times where like if Odd cuts here, he might accidentally push his defender into getting in front of Shots, and Shots misses the shot because of it. But I think more often than not, this type of off-ball movement is preferable. So if we can get in the habit of hash cut, corner goes up. It's like the reverse Fifi motion. We just do that automatically while the opposite corner cuts. I think that does a really good job at overloading interior defenders, because how most teams in 2K play is they just want one person down here to defend. Like in competitive games and like pro-am games, this is going to be the back end. And most teams play the way we wanted to play, which is to say the only person in the paint is like there's one paint defender. But that is really susceptible to getting overloaded in this way, where if like Shots catches the ball here, even if he gets stopped, Odd cutting down gives him another option, or if Shots like just like goes up with the shot here, and even if this guy makes a good play and blocks it, or if Odd is like helps bring extra defense and Shots misses, Odd is at least in good possession for the board, while we still have three up top, Javion, me, and James, because James is shaken up. Of course, like this guy is gonna follow Shots, so James is gonna be open on this hash. So if I throw it to Shots can kick it out, or I can make the read if I'm a good enough PG, see that this guy's diving and that James is going to be open when he comes up to the hash. Instead, I do this. I think this is a good call to not dribble. He's taking away the safety this way. You might have had baseline, but this is a good way to get knocked out of bounds. I think this is a good pass. We create off the isolation. This is good. Odd does a good job seeing it's going to be there, and he moves quickly. This is good. We're all back in transition. Nice. Odd probably, again, going back to what I was saying before, and I'm sorry I'm going to repeat this again just because I want it to kind of stick in our heads. And I don't know if this is necessarily correct, but my guess is that Shots and Odd should be the ones pressing in this case, because everyone else is back. But this is fine. It's not the worst. Again, it's not the worst thing in the world. At least we moved early. Shots gets pushed out a little bit. This is a really nice switch, and by switching, we deny the middle here. Similarly, this is interesting. So I think Odd, something that's happening here again is that we're guarding space, and we just have to do a good job of not guarding space. You have to you are guarding space, but the zone needs to shift more around an individual man. So in this case, again, this is the second time we've had it where Javion and I have a 3-on-2 on the right. What I'd love to see here is that Odd is on the left block, or on the left elbow, so playing higher, like maybe a step behind where James currently is. If Odd is here, James is free to come closer to the right side here and take away middle. Instead, what happens is IC4 is coming. Odd is also totally able. Odd, if you want, you can call that. I'm middle here. I'm middle. Let me actually see what we're talking about here. I'm just curious. Go back to this one.
Go mid, James. Go mid.
So Shots sees that he's beat towards the middle. James, he does a good call that he wants James to pick up his man here, and this switch is good. But the real problem here is that we have this 3-on-2 on the right side, and the reason that it feels like this play feels like we're guarding 5-on-4 because Odd, you're just guarding space and not an actual man. I go here to cut this middle because I know that James can't follow middle penetration here. He has the ball. This leaves Javion to play 2-on-1. Luckily, we're not beat. Luckily we don't give up anything here, but like a more coordinated team, a more sharp team is going to use this, and they're either going to get the dunk or they're going to make a quick kick out into a no dip shot.
Like a blue hair.
But we actually get we do get into a good spot here. So there's multiple ways again that we can handle this. Odd can say that he's taking blue hair, like he's taking the middle cut, allowing James to stay up. I stay corner, Javion goes corner, or Odd needs to be playing higher so that everyone can move up a few seconds ago. Sorry for the repetition, just I want to watch it back one more time. Yeah. And I think pressing flows naturally into this. So because Odd and Shots are low, if Odd is pressing here, kind of playing, and when I say press, I'm kind of imagining him playing at the hash over here extended. So kind of in this area where my cursor is, if you can see it. And then Shots playing, towards one of the guard clumps. But this ends up being problematic where we're in this 3v2. Odd could be higher. James could be further right, trying to take away blue. Javion could be further right. I could be further right. But okay, we work it out. That's all good. James follows through on his cut. This guy does like a really weird cut where he like doubles back like he... Oh, no, he doesn't. I just get... Maybe I'm tunneled on this. Let me see. But James does a good job following through. Technically, my responsibility is to go up here. But I don't. Because I see this... Hopefully it's because I see this happening. And I know I need to get a contest. And I probably jumped too early. I could probably take an extra step. I didn't see exactly how this mix-up happens to allow this penetration, but at least this penetration's not middle.
Okay,
This is good. Like, this is also the benefit of running actions on both sides, right? Like, they're doing this little replace thing here. James and I get confused. I think it's totally fine for Javion to stay. Again, like, my responsibility. I guess this is... Yeah, so, okay. I see what happens here on the left. I do think we could have played this better on the right, but I want to talk about what's happening here on the left real quick.
Go mid, James. Go mid.
This goes back to the rule of switching perimeter stuff.
Okay.
So blue goes into the corner. And we need to be defending middle. When this starts happening, when blue starts going up, he's looking to split this, and ideally what happens here is Odd gets in front, and we can just switch here. So Odd gets in front of this drive. Shots is already running to blue. I think Shots is like already committed. Like you can kind of like see the way his character is positioned that he realizes he's beat.
Blue here.
Yeah. So I want Odd slightly higher here. Like, well, even lower is fine. But like when I say higher, I mean like lower relative to the sideline. Like if he's on the block here, if he's somewhere near the block, kind of like where I'm standing, he's in position to get in front of this drive with Shots picking up in the corner. Anyway, this is okay. Again, this guy could have probably made a kick out to 3 behind him. And technically, so like this isn't middle penetration technically, but it's more middle than it could have been. And by that, I mean, what we want to do is, so like when I say we're denying the middle, what I really mean, like, obviously this isn't the middle, this is the wing, but if Odd steps in front, and let's say Odd overplays, like if Odd and Shots are both overplaying this drive, Shots is going to be high the way he is right now, Odd is going to be high, and then the only way this guy can go is baseline. So by letting this guy split us this way, we have broken the principle. We've given, this is penetration towards middle, because the alternative is sending him more baseline, which is what we're trying to do. So we're always trying to wall up more and more and more, making them take it all the way baseline. But when the split happens, this is a breakdown and they get a dunk. This is going to be an action that's called. Let's see.
Come set the screen, and then loop set the reset.
Okay, so this screen by one big into a rescreen by the other big is twist. I want us to get used to hearing that and knowing what it means. So Shots is going to set up, ask for a screen from one of the bigs. It could be either of us. When he calls for this, he doesn't want you to, and he didn't say it explicitly, so it's totally fine that you didn't in this case. But he wants you to roll off of this first one. You make contact, now it's time to roll. Because when you roll here, Odd, you have a good chance of pulling this defender. Like, you can already see, like, he's actually anticipating your roll here, and he's trying to take your space. And if he does that, and we go into the second screen, then it's just me and Shots against this one Durag guy, and he's going to get completely fucked here. But because we don't have interior pressure, like this pop is okay. He calls the cut. I mean, this is, I'm assuming we get a high-low pass, yep, and a dunk. Like, this is okay. Like, this is totally good. But, yeah, in general, on twist, what we're looking to do is set one screen and then go the second way. And Odd, you should already be a little bit lower here, and then I should be cutting in after you, typically. Because what that'll do is that when you leave to make room for me, hopefully everyone is just stuck on me. But this works out. This is a good little play. I think it shows that you can In 2K, people use pick and roll pretty much exclusively to set up the 3. In a roundabout way, this is like a more traditional, like real life pick and roll, where you're using it to go downhill. Like shots is rolling, or shots is like getting a drive to the basket off of the screens. But when you roll at the same time, you're not crowding him. You're just giving him another option. Like you're putting this the defender here in jail. What's he supposed to do? He commits to shots, then the pass gets made. He actually does a pretty good job playing this, but like there's just too much space, and we're able to get it anyway. But like Shots is able to, like Shots probably could have just like meter dunked it here, for instance. This is totally fine though. This is good. Like this is the point though. You're putting pressure on him. Like Shot, like by you rolling, you give Shot space because this guy doesn't feel like he can go and like actually close out to shots on this drive. Again, we need to press. Again, we get better at this as the night goes on. Better here in transition. For the most part, we're in front of our guys. We don't want this kind of penetration, but it's okay. This walling up is good. I see this happening. I'm assuming Javion is calling here that he is going to follow, so I retreat. This is really good odd to come back down. Like you see this, like this is helpful. This is okay, but I want you, I think, odd to follow through on this. So your guy cuts through. I think I want you following all the way through here and trusting that Javion is going to be okay. Because your build is so much more defensively skilled than Javion's, it makes it okay to do this instead though, because like leaving you, when you guys are kind of in a position here where both of you could take blue, it's reasonable to just have Odd take blue because he's closer to the paint and Odd's defensive ratings are so much better. That is ultimately what happens, but I think our base principles should be followed here, and that's Odd. When that cut comes through, you follow as long as Javion's in a good place. It's close though, and we end up totally fine. My reach is bad here. I guess I see him cross over, and I don't want him to drive this way, but that we're giving up middle here, and I'm not in position to, like, I need to be significantly lower here, like close to the charge circle, because James is able to get out to this guy, and I need to be in a position to switch onto 5 easily. Javion does a good job getting between the two of their man. That buys me time. Good cut, good follow through on this cut Odd over here, and yeah, ultimately this is good. Like small little mistakes, like again, quicker, like it's not that there aren't any holes, but the holes are small enough that you have to be really good and really sharp to exploit them. Thank you for coming back here, Odd. This is good. You can even come farther. I think I'm a little scared. Like I think this is kind of a scary. Obviously, I don't want to pull you into like a big drag where might get intercepted by this guy, but the guy who was chasing you did have like some chance to steal this, so we're kind of lucky that didn't go that way. I'm sorry about this. This is all really gross. I saw that. So this is bad from me. Like, I'm okay. So like whatever. I try to split them. I don't get the split. I try to go baseline because I see he's shading me high, but he gets the bump, stops me. And here, Odd, good job shaking up. One, because I can't really pass to you here because it's the angle is like he's like in the lane, so it's just like a gamble. Shots, I like this cut. I don't think I saw this, but like this is probably just an oop. Like when I'm in this post up situation, this is probably just totally oopable. I'm almost certainly just like tunneled on how I can get past him. I try this post spin. It doesn't work. This is actually a stop animation, but it puts me under the rim and I get the standing dunk because I know I have inside position on him. So this is kind of just 2K cheese. This is bad. I'm proud of myself for recognizing that, I had that, but I wouldn't say that's good process. Nice, good cut follow there, Odd. This is good. I don't mind this trap. Let's see what happens here. I probably am going for these traps too often. I see this, and I'm sure I'm holding L2 here. What really needs to be happening is James is leaving. This is perfect. Shots is following, and Javion should be feel free to leave so that I can go up, but I am not doing that. Instead, I'm in the trap. Javion does what he's supposed to do. I kind of get here. And again, I don't know if it's because Shots and I both get here. Like, I might just get blown by if I'm the only one who makes it. So I do kind of get back, to my credit. I think this jump is okay. Yeah, like James is trying to play towards middle, which is good. Is this jump okay? I think this jump is okay. I actually think in fact, I think this jump is good. I think a Pro-Am team, lots of Pro-Am players are shooting this shot, and you jumping here is getting a contest that they are, like, going to be pissed off about. Of course, it does, it leads us into this, an awkward situation where he gets a baseline drive. This is what we're weak to, where if people take these baseline floaters against us, they're going to work. We do a good job picking up, like, Shots gets there in a totally reasonable amount of time. He just makes a good read. I'm not upset with that. That all seems good. I do think that this guy is the lock on Shots, and I think that we probably are over dribbling against him. Let me see. I'm inbounding. Odds here. Yeah, this is all reasonable. This is pretty safe. I like that you give it up here. I think this is the correct time to give it up to me. This is good motion. This is all really good. I mean, I'm whatever. Like, I'm just like jacking off doing this garbage isolation that's not going anywhere. And we are doing really good wheel motion here, where it started off Javion in the corner, odd on the hash. Let me see who moves first. So I love that Javion is stepping here. Like, wow, this is that's crazy. So, like, I'm penetrating on the right side. Javion could cut, per our principles, but this guy's playing so low that it's really hard for Javion to get inside position on him. So if Javion's man was, like, hugging him on the line, I would actually want Javion to be cutting in this spot. But because Javion's man is so low, he wants to move up because he knows that we need to create space. Like, the other option is that James, and honestly, regardless, James should probably be moving up here. But I kind of love how all of this is happening, where we are creating space here on the right. Whether it's because Javion was stepping, but I think Oddmare is, like, really good at this too, and, like, Odd and I have, like, this good synergy when we like wrap behind each other. So this is all really good. This freelance, like, motion stuff is great. We get Odd the ball with the chance to go downhill. Nothing might quite materialize it. That's fine. This is an open shot. I need to hit this. But I get enough, it's enough of an advantage. Like, this is enough of an advantage. He has to step up. I get him going one way. I can cross back the other way and go into a dunk. So this is really good. Like, I think this is fine. Honestly, like, again, my initial isolation here isn't very successful. And we do a pretty good job clearing out. The question I have, and I know this is, like, the principles, as they say, is that as I'm driving here, James should be moving up. That's what I do in this spot when I'm the corner guy, at least. Everything I said about Javion, about, like, if Javion's man is close, I think I want him cutting in here. I think this is true. The risk with James moving here is that he, of course, brings his defender into me. The thing is, he's kind of in that situation, he's using me as a screen. Like, if James moves here, I am essentially screening his man off. So he does kill my ISO, but he's trying to make a play for himself to get a shot up here. And if this blue-haired guy reacts, I actually just have the lane, right? Like, if James raps, blue hair feels like he needs to follow James's rap. I just get the free dunk. So that's why I'm saying that I think the base rule should be, if penetration comes, we shake up from the corner. But it cuts both ways. Like, we just have to, again, it just has to be known. Like, I have to know that when I'm driving towards James like this, I need to be careful not to get, like, the ball blitz, because I'm walking into the blitz. Anyway, again, this is all pretty good. I really like this. And yeah. I think I'm only going to do the end of this quarter because I've been talking so much, and hopefully I just is like a good example for people. If you want, I can like tally demerits as well. I can go back and watch this and like give people like a scorecard for this quarter. So Adi's guarding space again, but I think it's mostly because this guy does this little like look at 5. Or no, the guy who was going to Odd's corner just like takes a beeline out, and Odd does a good job responding, I think, in time to this. Let's see what I do to fuck this up. I'm playing too low, and I don't jump. Yeah, I don't jump. I'm sure I complained about this, and I'm sure it was not warranted because I need to jump.